All right. We are live. Turn up my ring light. Guys, let me tell you something. It is Sunday night, my favorite day. Welcome to the Inga Nicole TV show. Inga Nicole. Whew, I'm so first of all, I'm out of breath because I'm running to get myself together to be here with you guys. But welcome to the Inga Nicole show and podcast. It is Sunday night, guys. Sunday is my all-new favorite day. First of all, Sunday is my favorite day because on Sundays, I get to do road trips because, guys, you know that we do Airbnbs all across the country. So I go from state to state setting up Airbnbs and corporate rentals, staycations, and all of that. So I literally, when I say literally, just arrived in Virginia, 32 seconds ago. And I was driving, making a beeline down that road because I said, I have to get here because tonight is an important night. Y'all know that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And Domestic Violence Awareness Month is near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to me because of so many things that I went through as a young woman all the way into my adulthood. And so I am just celebrate any woman that has escaped domestic violence, that has made the mental mind shift to get to the next level of her life, that has decided that she deserves better. And I pray and continue to support anybody that is currently in a domestic violence situation, guys. Domestic violence, domestic abuse, same thing to me. I pray for you every day. I transfer my strength. I transfer the strength of other women onto you so that you can be free of a life that's less deserving of what you should have. Every woman deserves to have an amazing life. Every woman deserves to live life in abundance. And so what we do on the Inga Nicole show is we teach women how to go from toxic to abundance in 90 days or less. And that is what this show, that is what our talks are all about. And so I'm excited to be here. I am so honored to have my guest, Nicole Anderson-Young. Guys, her story, you and me and all of us out here today are going to be hearing her story for the first time. Anybody that's watching this on repeat, we're all learning about this incredible story of resilience together. All of us are hearing it through watchful eyes for the first time, but I know that she has so much to share with us. But let me tell you real quick about our sponsors. I don't have my normal setup today, but that's all right. I know who the sponsors are, guys. So the first sponsor that we have, of course, is My Kinky Wig Bar. Y'all know that these luscious bundles be coming from My Kinky Wig Bar online, mykinkywig.com. Just because it's kinky doesn't mean it's not straight. They say, oh, do you only have kinky hair? No, we have all kinds of hair. So My Kinky Wig is always a sponsor, always keeps us up nice and looking like a little something. Guys, the other sponsor that we have is Toe Zone. That's my husband and myself's company. We teach people to make a multiple six figures in the towing and automotive industry. And we're excited to teach them step by step, day by day, the things that they need to know. We've literally taken people, regular, ordinary people with no experience, and taught them to make 6 figures in a year, 5 figures in a week. It's exciting to know. So follow us at the Toe Zone, and I'll start texting this in a minute. Another sponsor that we have is Urban Luxury. That's where I'm at right now, guys. And Urban Luxury is our staycation, we call it. Staycation, Airbnb, short-term rental, all furnished, guys. People don't know that I've been doing this literally since I've been in a real estate industry since at least 2006, 2007. But my very first corporate rental was in 2008. Even when I was in the feds, I was able to have corporate rentals operating while I was away. It was able to help me maintain my existence there, help me with my children while I was there. So I'm really big on the Airbnb, the staycation, the corporate rentals, and I haven't put a class out just yet about it. But again, remember, we take women from being toxic to abundance by bossing up their faith, family, finance, all the F words that you can think of. And so finances is one of them, and that's something that we will teach you at some point. We'll get into teaching you that. Another sponsor that we have is my girl Tanya, Body Image Beauty Lounge. Guys, if you want to if you want to get the, then you want to work with Tanya at Body Image Beauty Lounge. It's non-evasive. She sculpts your body in a way with a cool sculpting infrared. You can get inside of a bag, but again, this channel, this Inga Nicole channel is all about women being the best that they can be, being bossed up, feeling good, looking good. When you feel good, when you look good, it helps you maintain a higher standard in your life. And so that is what this channel is all about. And so I promote Tanya because she does something that is so incredible. Literally, you see results right away. Who don't want to lose a little couple of inches right away? That's my friend Tanya. And so guys, definitely shout out to Body Image Beauty Lounge. And again, I'll type all this in. Who else? I'm not leaving anybody else. Guys, I hope you had a fantastic week. I hope that you are living your life to the fullest. My motto is, and it's never going to change, some people get what they want, while other people, some people take exactly what they, I can't even talk today. Okay, let me calm down. Some people get exactly what they want, while others take whatever they can get. Today is your day, so you decide. And so we over here are living life in its full abundance. We're doing all that we can. We're taking all of what our life used to be and making it what it needs to be. But you got to write your ideas down. You have to think your life into existence. You have to speak your life into existence, and that's what it's all about. But I can go on and on and on and on. What I want to do right now is, if my light's going to keep turning off, what I want to do right now is I want to bring on our guest, Nicole Anderson-Young. When I tell you I'm excited to have her here, I am excited for her to be willing to share and participate in our interview. I am excited to be able to push her and share with her and help her through whatever else she has going on in her life. Y'all know me. If I'm in your life, I'm a cheerleader. And if we cheerleading, we are rocking out together. And so I look forward to this interview. So I'm going to bring her on. Let's see what I do. I go down like this, like that. And I click on here and I send invitations. So Nicole, you're on next. I'm waiting on you. And while we're waiting for Nicole, she's going to come on. She's going to split this screen. There she goes. There she is. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Inga.
Hi. Can you hear me? So am I low? Is my volume low? Do you hear me?
No, you're perfect. You're perfect.
So try to turn your volume up a little and see.
Okay. Let me see.
Yes, turn me up in this mic.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you okay, but can it go any louder at all? Are you up all the way?
The loudest wait. That's the loudest it goes.
Okay. And then, do I sound close to you or far away from you?
You're perfect. I can hear you perfectly clear.
Yeah, let me see if I could turn you up a little bit more. Let me see. I got it.
You got me on mute now. You on mute. It's on mute.
Mute.
Yeah.
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now you on mute again.
Okay, but you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I got it. So my light is giving me being weird to me. This is what happens when you try and be excellent. You know what I'm talking about, Nicole?
I hear
excellent
you.
is at a cost. I'm not gonna keep clicking that light. But I hear you, but it's like vaguely. So but maybe it's just my volume. But anyway, welcome to the Inga Nicole Show. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking out your time, for being willing to talk to us, for being willing to share your story, because I know it takes a bit of bravery to be able to do that. So I'm just, as I feel like I'm just as excited as anyone else that's looking. One thing I never do is look at who's watching, because I know that once we finish, people are looking down the road later. They're on YouTube watching, checking out what we have going on. And so welcome to our show, Nicole.
Thank you
for taking up your time.
Thank you.
So tell us, I'm going to start by letting you tell us a little bit about yourself. So tell us your name, where you're from, maybe tell us about your children, what you do right now for your life.
Absolutely. So my name is Nicole Anderson-Young. I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I was raised in Delaware County in Sharon Hill. 25.
25. We're going to tell them about that later. 25. Okay, stop. Don't hype me up, girl.
All right. Yeah, so, I originated in Philadelphia, in Sharon Hill, and then I moved to Philadelphia. I moved to Florida maybe about a year and a half ago, just to get a different change of life, change of scenery, just better environment, and, just to do something different. basically. Better opportunities here too. It's for what I was trying to do. So I am currently a medical assistant, and I am simultaneously going to school for my bachelor's degree to become an RN. Yes. I have 10 children, 7 that are biologically mine, and I've raised 3 in a marriage. So, we don't do much, but we're family, and you can't choose who your family is, but I love everybody dearly, and we all we getting along great. Everybody's doing their thing.
This is good. Look, when you say 10 children, I said, what?
Yeah.
Wait, before we even get into that, explain to us women on here. It is like 2022, right? And so I remember my grandmother had 8 kids and somebody else had 12 kids and this person had, but we don't always hear that. I'm assuming that we're around the same age or in the same age bracket. I'm still in denial, FYI, just so you know, don't be trying to shout me out. But
I won't.
But tell me what it's like to have that 10 children.
It is amazing. It is amazing. Raising that amount of children in one household, you got a lot of different personalities, a lot of attitudes, a lot of things that you have to deal and cope with. But when your foundation is strong, when you are raised from a strong foundation, I think our ancestors paved the way for us to be able to know what to do, what to teach our children, what to say, how to react, how to respond, and teach them, their goals in life and what they need to do, and just be there and be their support. I think those are the most important things. So that's what
amazing.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, what I love the most is that they always say that the young will take care of we take care of our young until they're older, and then as we grow and in our life, when you become an older person, your life starts to go backwards and you become a child, and so the young will take care of the old. And so what I love about a big and especially big plus extended / blended family is, guess what? You got more than enough support to take care of you.
I do.
I tell them at least if not one of them, but all of them, they better stay ready for birthdays, Christmas, taking care of you. So you were in a great, great place.
Yes.
So congratulations to you for being, you like something like a super mom.
Yes, I try to be.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, all right, Nicole. So you know what we're here for. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We know that there's statistically, so every probably 20 minutes, a woman is losing her life in domestic violence. A lot of people might not know that fact. I know that 70% of the time, the worst abuse begins to happen when you make a decision to leave. And so I wanted to talk to you today because I put a post up, and when I say I cannot thank you enough, like I got chills about the fact that you even responded to say, you're literally one of the first people when I said, has anybody had gotten over or had a domestic violence situation that they would be willing to share to help other women? And when you responded, I was just like, oh, wow. All right, well, it took us a couple weeks to get it together, but I'm so grateful that you're here. And I just want to get into your story. You can start. I want you to be comfortable. So I want you to begin this story wherever you would like to begin. I'll start you off with a question, and I will not interrupt you as you pause. Then I'll ask questions as we go. But it's no script for this. This is candid conversation. We just talking to me and you girlfriends. I don't know, do you drink wine, soda, water, whatever it is? But we having a glass of wine, just kicking it in your bedroom right now. I know that's right. Okay, water. I forgot you was in the nursing industry. Somebody find me some water. Wait, Lenny, I got water right here. Okay, so I'm ready. Look at me. Okay.
All right.
I got a big old bottle, but clearly I got to work. The bottle is outdoing me right now. Okay. But we really just kicking it as girlfriends, having us a conversation about, like, wow, Nicole, like, honestly, if I was laying on your bed right now, like, oh my gosh, tell me more. I'm like, Nicole, tell me, like, I'll start with what my husband asked me today. And he asked me, how did it even start? He says, Boo Bear, like, when I think about you, when I look at you, it kind of makes me sad. He said, it breaks my heart to know that something like that happened to you. So how did it even begin with you, like, for your situation?
Well, we're talking about 13 years of relationship. So, and I have to give credit where credit is due. The relationship was not all bad. It wasn't like day one. It's just, it was things that progressed over time. So it definitely wasn't a situation where I got into this relationship and oh my God, it was just so bad and it was bad every day. No, I can't, I would be lying if I said that. But what I can say is there are times, and you know, people go through their things and people have their vices, you know, and I'm not in a position where I want to just put out what my ex-husband's vices were. But I will say that when I met him, everything was good. And we actually blended our families. So that's how I came to have 10 children. So when I met him, I already had 4 children and he already had 3. And together we had 2 more. So then we blended all of them together and we decided that this was something that we wanted to do. So we moved together, lived together. We got married and it went from there. You know, everything was good for the first 5-6 years. The wedding was beautiful, but then there were trials and tribulations that happened throughout that time where, you know, and outside influences, you know what I mean, that just made the relationship sort of start to sink, if you will. It wasn't until the last, I'm gonna say 2 years of the relationship where it just took a whole negative turn.
Do you remember like that something happened? So you said 13 years, right? So 13 years, so we'll say 11 years, everything was exactly as it was supposed to be. With, you know, life changing. But the last little bit,
it was manageable. I won't say that it was exactly what it needed to be, but it was manageable. It was things that I was willing to deal with. You know, before we get all the way deep into the story, just for the females that are watching, I want to say this. And I want to make myself clear because I don't want to come on here and sound like I'm man bashing, because that's right. But the story needs to be heard. And it needs to be heard, especially to women who feel like they have to deal with these things in order to be happy, or they have to deal with these things in order to say that they have a man. That's not the case. That is absolutely not the case. And I don't want anyone to take away from this conversation that they have to go through things in order to be happy, or they have to be abused or mentally abused or take the physical abuse in order to be happy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is my situation was mine. And I chose to deal with certain things because I take vows, and I was just raised from older people who took those things seriously. So until you decide that you love you first, you're going to go through some stuff. No matter what relationship you in, because no man, no woman, nobody is perfect. In order to find happiness in this lifetime, there is something that you have to be willing to deal with. Some men are abusive. Some men are undercover. Some men are alcoholics. Some women are the same thing. Whatever your thing is, whatever your, you know, whatever lifestyle you choose to be in, you have to know in yourself what it is that you're willing to deal with and what you're strong enough to deal with. Because every woman doesn't have the same strength, and neither does every man. So I just want to put that out there first.
No, I love that you have that clarity. I think that's that's excellent that you said that, because it's shocking when everything is going fine and all of a sudden, right? Because a lot of women, when they have domestic violence, it's not all of a sudden. It is a very short, like a courting period, and then you literally just get right into it. Like in my situation, It didn't take a whole many years. So then this is a very interesting conversation, because now it makes me ask because I ask you, how did it begin or how did it start? But to know that it took all those years means that something happened, not
Right.
in y'all's relationship, but to him himself. Something had to happen outside of you. And so you see me.
I
So
got you.
bring us into this, because again, like I said, for me, maybe it started, I'm telling you, within a couple of months, not even literally the first time I ever had domestic violence, because I don't know how much you know about me, but for me, I had domestic violence for the first time in college, and I had been past careers and darn near somebody's grandma at this point. And I literally didn't get out of, I went from domestic violence from 1994 all the way till 2014. And not one person, but multiple situations. And so my situation was different. I'm not saying I'm the kind of girl that was, domestic violence was not my core, but I had a small tolerance for it, meaning it happened to me. I had to break a cycle of domestic violence. Each person I dated, there was domestic violence. But when I'm listening to you, you were in a relationship. Were you married?
Yeah, eventually
so you're married, and now we have this blended family, and then all of a sudden, some years later, something happened. And
right.
so however you want to get us there, because I don't want to leave. I know it's like to tell a story, and I'm trying to be like, all right, well, what happened to Nicole? But no, help us, guide me through what.
Okay. All right. So, so I'll start from, I guess, the first incident. And I'm starting from the first incident, but I'm not realizing what's happening. Mm-hmm. So understand my confusion in all of what was going on. So I'm gonna just go to this one particular day, and I'm gonna start from there and end up with the entire story. So my husband, my ex-husband, used to entertain a lot of people in our home. That was his thing. He liked to have his fun and, entertain people. So this one particular, and I've always been the type of person, you go ahead and entertain, I'm going upstairs, I'm going to bed. Like, I was always the early bird, going to sleep early, not partaking in whatever, just, doing my thing. So this one particular evening, well, before I get to that, let me just say, my ex-husband was very close to his grandmother.
Okay.
Very close. There was an incident where she got sick. She went into the hospital, and due to hospital neglect, she choked in her sleep and passed away.
Okay.
When that happened to her is when my husband changed. That was like his prayer warrior.
Okay.
So when that happened to her, with no explanation, no nothing, it was just he got the phone call that, she choked in her sleep. That was the turning point for him.
Okay.
In my eyes. Now, don't get me wrong, there were things that was going on before that, but this was the turning point that made everything else go downhill.
Okay.
So this one particular night, like I said, I went to sleep early, and I was sleeping, and his grandmother, who is now deceased, and my father, who is deceased, came to me in a dream and was like, you need to wake up. You need to wake up, and you need to go downstairs, because there are things happening around you in your home you don't know anything about. And it's like you are the target. You need to get up and pay attention to what's going on. Okay. So I woke up, just like that. I just woke up.
It's like I'm woke.
Yeah, I just woke up.
Like stay woke. Okay.
Where he was entertaining his friends, I went downstairs and I was like, let me find out that the message was that this girl that's been in your house is pregnant. This girl that's been in your house sitting at your table is pregnant. Okay. And she's pregnant by your husband. That was the message that I got from them two people. So when I went downstairs, I said to him, I said, let me find out that so-and-so is pregnant and everybody here know about it but me. So of course, when I said that, his automatic response was, who said something? One of y'all told her what, one of y'all said something. So I said to him, nobody didn't say anything. Nobody didn't say anything. Nobody didn't tell me anything.
Intuition, that dream.
My people came to me in my dream. Grandmother and my father told me that it's time for me to wake up.
Okay.
So of course, he didn't believe me. Like, oh, you tripping? You don't know what you're talking about. This, and it just went on and on and on. So I said what I said, and I left it like that. So a couple of days later, I got a phone call from another one of the friends that he used to entertain, and this was a female. She called me and was like, I just can't stand being around knowing what's going on and everybody smiling in your face. And now, mind you, she wasn't there when I came downstairs and said something about the dream. She wasn't there. Okay. So she called me like, I can't stand the fact that that is going on and everybody around you know what's going on and they're in your house carrying on. I just need to tell you what's going on. So she told me that this particular girl, I'm not going to give her name any airplay, but this particular was pregnant. And that the baby was my husband's, and my husband has been sneaking around with her, this, that, and the third. So, of course, I went off the deep end and just lost it and packed all my stuff and was trying to leave. And it was just a lot. So, of course, he called, let's work it out. Let's figure it out. I don't know if it's mine, hers. He never admitted to me that was his child. But it could be mine, it could be somebody else's, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna work it out. So long story short, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna move. We're gonna move from this house, we're gonna move to another area, we're gonna start fresh. We're gonna take the kids, we're gonna leave, we're gonna start fresh. None of your friends could come over. I don't want anybody coming over. I want you entertaining anybody in the house. Let's just go start over somewhere else. So he agreed and we moved. When we moved, I found a job and I was working and he was cutting hair, doing what he do. So now we're in the house where the incident happened. So I'm noticing a lot of underhanded, undermined things happening. Like somebody put sugar in my gas tank. And I was driving, taking the kids to one of those cookouts where they was giving away like free school bags and stuff like that. Somebody put sugar in my gas tank, and I was on the expressway with 7 children in the car, and the car broke down.
Okay, wow.
Then I had to have somebody come pick me up, and and then it was another incident where I think I was late on a car note or something, and I used to park the car behind the house, and somebody called the people and told the people where the car was parked so that I would not have transportation to get around, pop up on him like I used to.
Where he used to fill out at. I got you.
So the car just disappeared. Nobody knew how these people figured out where my car was at. Little stuff like that start happening to try to keep me from being able to get around to figure out what was going on. Because the bottom line,
your intuition was in full form right now.
Right.
Yeah,
and the bottom
ladies, listen. I'm not breaking up the story, but when y'all feel, when that gut tell you that something not what it's supposed to be, move out on it. Don't second guess what you feel, good or bad. You're right.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're doing your homework.
So I'm doing my homework. I'm doing my little investigating and stuff. And there was this one incident a couple of weeks before the shooting. There was this incident where my 5-year-old daughter was ahead of her time. She was really, really smart. And she used to stay with him while I worked. And he took her with him to this girl's house. And my intuition kicked in. I was at work. And I just felt like something wasn't right. I told my boss, I left work. I said, I got to go. I got to go. Something is wrong. I don't know what it is. I got to go. When I leave, I don't know how I ended up where I ended up at, but I ran into him and my baby girl. They was walking down the street.
Okay.
Just happened where they were walking at was around the corner from where the girl lived at.
Okay. This is
So
the girl that he still hasn't
yeah,
said that he is the father.
right.
Right? All right. And then just so
So
I can reset this conversation for people that are joining in, I'm talking to Nicole Anderson-Young, ladies and gentlemen, and she's sharing a story of domestic violence or a domestic abuse situation in her family and how it happened and how she finally got, free of it and talking about her life now. So, but right now we're in a conversation of the intuition and how her spidey senses, all her six senses, and I say six senses, I say sixth sense with an ICK or the sixth sense with a TH. The sixth sense is because that sense that makes you sick and you don't do anything about it. But that six with the number sense is when you move out on it. So guys,
yeah,
we're talking about how her sixth sense, her intuition, dreams, like just what is it? You said that your who came to you in a dream?
so it was his grandmother.
His grandmother and her father came to her in a dream and shared with her, that something that just, again, all these things, these secrets, these dreams, right, guys? Dreams that we ignore I'm not a dream diver or I'm not an expert about dreams, but I do know that everything happens for a reason, right? And so
Yeah.
she's sharing with us right now, setting us up with exactly how everything started to come full circle to her. So, okay, we at the school, you're walking down the street and...
So I was driving. Actually, I drove up on my 5-year-old and my ex-husband. They were walking down the street. And again, they were right around the corner from where the girl lived. I didn't know that the girl lived around the corner, but I'm just, giving you the layout. So when I pulled up on them, I was like, well, come on and get in the car. He refused to get in the car, but baby girl wanted to get in the car. So baby girl got in the car. We drove off and left him. He went and got on the train wherever he was going. As me and baby girl riding around, getting ready to get back on the main road to go back home, she said, I asked her, I said, well, where were y'all? Where y'all coming from? And she said, we coming from this person's house. Said the girl's name. So I said, well, who is that? That's daddy's friend. Oh, so do you know where daddy's friend lives? Yes. Where does she live? She lives around here.
Okay.
I know exactly what house it is. It's the house with the big black chair. Okay, so we're going around the corner to the house where the big black chair is. If I drove around the corner, do you think you can show me where it's at? Yes. I drove around the corner. She took me right to the house. I go to the house. I knock on the door. Instead of somebody coming to the door, the girl stick her head out the window and was like, why are you here? I said, why was my husband here?
Okay.
So we arguing back and forth, this, that. Of course, she never come outside, so I leave. Moving forward, now we're arguing, bickering, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've come to the realization that this is not going to be resolved. This is something that is going to continue to happen. He's doing what he want to do. It's not going to get resolved, and this is going to happen. This is when I made the decision that it's time for me to leave.
Okay. How long did the back and forth go on with you guys?
I'm sorry?
How long did the back and forth go on with you from the big black chair house?
Maybe about 8 months.
And did you ever say anything to your husband, like about, were you only arguing with her, or did you talk to him about what was going on?
Of course, I approached him about the situation, and it was, oh, she's a baby. She don't know what she's talking about, but not realizing that I had a whole conversation with these people in the building.
Okay, yes.
Putting it like, well, she don't know what she's talking about. She's a baby.
Okay, so you did.
Sure,
all right, because I only asked that because now I'm on Instagram 2022, and so they'll be like, no, well, I don't know why you're talking to her. You need to talk to your man. You know how that thing go. So the advice that's been given, right, is don't talk to the person, talk to him, because she's not the problem, he's the problem. Now, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. You said that they were in your house, this person,
yeah. So
So that means, ladies, this old school, this little something about an old school. And don't mind me, but excuse me if I get a little ratchet, guys. But that old school right here. Now, yes, it's your problem, is your issue. And guys, we are talking about domestic violence, but she brought up a couple of things after, So she said that she did approach the woman and ask why he was there. However, if you need to rewind this later on, you can. The conversation started with the young lady had been at her home participating in events that were going on, which makes her now familiar, which means if I say something to him, I'm also about to say something to you, right? Right, so I just want to make that clarity so people, because I don't want anyone to be like, oh, she needed to talk to, no, wait, hold on, wait a minute, she was here. So she could get checked also. Okay.
She knew.
Okay, I'm back. Now, okay, back, we have come back to our review.
Yeah, bottom line, she knew who I was. She knew who he was. She knew who he was married to. So it's not like, don't check her, check your man. I'm checking both of them.
Yes, but in this instance, they both can get checked. Check size means that step 2, say something to approach, ask questions if I need to break it down. But so that's what happened. All right, so now you decided it's time to exit, and then what began to happen?
Yes, now I make the decision that it's time to leave. And I made that, I know a lot of people probably looking because I'm leaving some things out, but I made that decision because in my mind, in my heart and soul, you can only do so much to a person before you get to the point where it's time to kill them.
Okay.
You can only do that. You can only do but so much to a person. Like I've had the domestic violence. I've been punched on. I've been beat on. I've been all of that already. This has all happened before this incident. This incident.
Yes. So until this, can I ask this question? So at this point, when you have decided that it's time to go, had you guys started getting physical with each other yet? Or had you begun to get physical with you yet?
We were already physical. Years before this, we were already physical. So and there are some pieces that I'm leaving out because this is like a chapter book. But
that which what we're gonna get to. That is going to happen. You can put that on your affirmation list. You're connected to us now, and so believe me, this won't be the last. We'll get on to that. But so there had been you guys had been had physical interaction, like abuse going on already.
Yeah.
And had that been a lot or a little? Sometimes, how had that? What was the frequency of that?
It was a lot. It was more than one occurrence per year of the 13 years.
Okay, so you had already had that situation. And so before this, because I know it's like the drum roll, because I tell people I had domestic violence, but my domestic violence situation was mental abuse. It was arguing, fussing, a little pushing, some choking. But when somebody finally put their hands on me, it was always done. Like now I woke, right? But the arguing, the pushing, and the down talking, which beats your spirit down in such a way, it went, for me, it ended at the collision. And so I wanted to, before you go on to this part, because we did skip it, I want to talk about a little bit about over the years of what made you this now, because we have whatever you're going to share with us that was the kind of end result. And now we have this other party that is involved, and I couldn't even begin to imagine, as a mom with other children already and your history already, that now you're gonna throw a new baby in the mix. Like, wait, stop, hold on, wait a minute, right? So, but take us a little bit through how it was prior to this part. Like, so you said that through the years you had been being physical. Why did you not do something at that time?
Actually, I did. There was an incident where I was being accused of the neighbor across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular incident, he was out drinking. A lot of times alcohol played a part, drugs played a part in the violence. This particular, I remember so good because my baby girl at the time was maybe about 6 months. And he came home. and he was locked out. I
Mm-hmm.
guess he lost his keys, whatever. I don't know. He came home. He was locked out. It was in the middle of the night. And then I guess he was ringing the bell and we were asleep, so I didn't hear him. He kicked the door in and ran upstairs. And this was like the first time he ever hit me with a gun. And he hit me, so I was asleep. He hit me so hard with the gun that I woke up, but I was distraught. And when the baby was laying in the bed with me, and he just put the gun down and started punching me. And he was punching me so much, my face was starting to get distorted. And the 6-month-old baby climbed over top of my face so he would stop hitting it.
Wow.
Seriously. He climbed over top of my face so that he would stop punching me. Wow. So that incident, I was at my breaking point. I packed the kids up. He got arrested for that. And every time he got arrested, I never pressed charges. I just like tried to get away. I left and I moved to Georgia. And I was in Georgia and his children went with their biological mom, and the rest of my children, you know, they went with me. And he came to Georgia and found me. He came to Georgia, he found me. Well, he called me and said that he needed to talk to me about some stuff, or he needed to get away and he was trying to get right and whatever. And I let him, he didn't come to me, I let him come to Georgia. And while we were in Georgia, everything was good. So I'm like, okay, maybe he did change. I'm give him a second chance. And I came back to Philly with him, left my little place in Georgia, came back to Philly with him. And then we was good for about a year.
What was your thought when you came? So you had your incident, you went to Georgia, he talked you into coming back. What was your thought process that made you go back?
Well, his whole demeanor was different. Now, I don't know if it was because we were in Georgia, so, you know, different scenery, you know, sometimes people have a tendency to be different. Okay. But once I got back to Philadelphia, it was the same person back again.
That comfort place. Right. That comfort place. Okay. It's like if it's almost like when you a little kid. Now I you know, you from 2-5, so you might know a little something about what I'm talking about. But so you know how like you might get into it with someone and you might want to have a fight, but you're kind of a little bit nervous. But when your cousins and all them come, now you are right. You know,
got your people
say, with right. So maybe I'm only assuming. Yes. So I'm only assuming that they came, you know, that it was a time when he's back in that comfortable. I got you back where I'm comfortable to be myself. Right. And then it was like a year before, you know, the stuff started back up again. Okay. So you thought you came back because things seemed different. It seemed like it had resolved itself. It was better. We're going to go ahead back to our life and do what we promised each other we would do. All right. Now go ahead. Now carry me back to. I was raised in a 2-parent home. Okay. Regardless of what went, and they were not abusive to one another. But regardless of what the issues were in the home, they stayed until one of them passed away. So, and they took their vows very seriously. So this is something that was instilled in me. You made the choice. You had your heart for it. You had you had the picture of the end of what it was supposed to look like. And everybody doesn't have that. Like I had 2 parents till kindergarten, right? My grandmother and grandfather, I don't know if you remember my Miss Burt from Tribbett Avenue. You remember my grandmother. See, this the part where I'd be like, you probably my cousin Nicole. Anyway, so Miss Burt and my grandfather, they stayed together. And guys, we're talking about 2-5. So a lot of people on here are from our neighborhood, from homes 2-5, Sharon Hill, but we got our own little name for it. But my grandmother was like a staple in the community, and she stayed with my grandfather. That was a couple that never broke up. She eventually went off back to North Carolina, but the picture you have in your head is what a family is supposed to look like. Don't tell our family business. What happened in our house, stay in our
Right.
house. We gonna work it out. We all we got. Like all these are all the things that you have learned along the way. So in this maybe and I'm only thinking for what I'm hearing and what my thought would be is that I'm trying to value and create the picture of what the end is supposed to look like. And so I don't know why you're acting this way, but you're not the person that I thought I knew. And if I can help you, we can get through this.
Yeah,
Am I right in saying that?
absolutely.
Okay. All right, come on, take us somewhere, Nicole. We ready.
All right. So, like I said, after that year, it started going downhill again. And then, my main focus is to create a safe environment for these children. I want these children to have their parents. I want these children to know what it's like to have a mom and a dad in the house. These were my values. So this was something that was very important to me. This is one of the reasons why I stayed as long as I did, because I stayed so that the children would be able to, to see that this is what it's supposed to be like as far as having a mother and a father. It wasn't till later on when they started becoming teenagers that I just had this wake up call. Like, if I don't do something bad is going to happen, and these children are not going to have any parents.
Okay. So take us to how it started to finally unravel.
Okay. So, we were in our new home. We did take that move, and we were in our new home. And like I said, little weird things started happening, back and forth, back and forth. The ultimate was in the middle of the night, he got a phone call. It was time. I'm assuming that I just knew. My gut just knew. It was time for the girl to have the baby. And instead of him saying, "Oh, all right," or something, he jumped up and got dressed and left. And I think that right then and there was when, how you get that heart drop to your stomach, like, this is it. This is, that was it for me. That was it. That was the done point. And, he went and then I a couple of days I called and I'm like, well, where are you? And you left because that girl was having a baby, didn't you? And all the denial, all that stuff. So once I made my mind up, I told him, I said, listen, we're at a point where it's time for you to do you, and I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna take my kids and go, or you can take your kids and go, but it's time for us to separate. So I kept pounding that at him, like, it's time for us to separate. This is not working. We're not doing this. This is not working. This is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I planned for. This is just not it. So he like, well, he just, all right, and go for a couple of days and then come back. And then he would come back tormenting me, breaking glass out, just doing all kind of stuff, just trying to mentally make me where I was so afraid that I wouldn't leave. But I'm not a scary person. So that kind of stuff didn't work. You know what I mean? So this one particular day, I think I had just got paid or something. And I found, this is how crazy it was. I found an apartment small enough for him and his children. I put the money on the apartment, gave him the keys and said, you and your children need to go in this apartment. And me and mine are going to go stay over here, and we can work it out with the two that belong to both of us, co-parent. However, we can still co-parent with all of them. But you need to move out and move over here.
Okay, so, all right. So what I heard you say is that you wanted him to go so badly that you paid for it.
Yeah. I went and
found
an apartment.
After what he did, is so why, what do you feel tell me, why did you feel like instead of him just putting him out to go be with this other person and that new baby, why did you decide instead to pay for them to have a place?
because putting him out to go be with the new baby was not working.
Okay. So he
because
wasn't leaving.
as long as he felt like I was his wife,
okay,
and this was our home at one point, he
Mm-hmm.
felt like he'll always come back there.
So what made you feel financially responsible for his new?
I didn't feel financially responsible, but the type of person he was, I felt like if I did this, maybe he would go. Because
Okay.
now you got to pay for nothing. It's already laid out for you. This is how we have you to do this. So maybe if you see how
Yes.
bad I want you to do this, then you will go.
Did it work?
No.
I didn't laugh.
No.
It didn't work. Today you probably could giggle a little bit also.
And was like, listen, that man ain't coming in here. You might as well just come get your money.
Okay.
No. So when that didn't work, I start packing little bags, taking them to my mom's house. Every time I left, I was packing little stuff, taking it slowly moving out. So this one particular night, well, before I get to that, I had met someone and I had started seeing this guy.
Okay.
And I wasn't hiding the fact that I was seeing this guy because, remind you, I told you, do you. I'm going to do me. We're not going to continue with this.
But we're not divorced yet, right?
No, we're going to get a divorce. We're going to separate. We're going to get a divorce. I'm going to do me. You're going to do you. And we just going to go our separate ways. I'm trying to stay the level-headed one in all of this. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I just want to be done. So I start seeing somebody else. And I had 2 cell phones. I had one cell phone. Everybody had the phone number 2. I had another cell phone where he only had, the new guy only had the number 2. It was the only person that called me.
Okay.
So I was in the shower this one day, and of course he was there. Came in, I was in the shower. The phone rang. The cell phone for the guy.
The new guy's number. The new guy phone rang.
He answered the phone.
Oh no! Now what? This is where the music started playing. What had happened?
Yeah, he answered the phone. It was a whole bunch of verbal stuff going back and forth between the 2, threats.
But is this his first knowing about the new guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is because I never really told him, but I just told him that I'm doing me, but I didn't tell him who it was or the guy's name, anything like that.
All right, so you got him in place. He didn't take it. You decided that if you're going to continue to be here, if we have to coexist together, I'm not about to stop my life for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, they exchanged words, whatever. Long story short, that didn't go anywhere. It was just everybody, it just went away. We didn't even fight about it. That was surprisingly that we didn't fight about that.
Okay.
Like, whatever. But at this point, I'm thinking that he's so overwhelmed with the whole situation that it's starting to become clear to him that I'm done.
Right.
He's starting.
So again, we talked about in the beginning that 70% of the time is when you leave and they know that it's over, that the worst situation happens.
When the worst
So kind of fast forward us to this part.
Yes. So now he's slowly being receptive of the fact that she's really done. This is really about to be over. So one night he decided that he wanted to stay home and thought that I should be there with him. Well, I stayed out all night, all weekend, as a matter of fact. And he was there waiting for me to come home. It's not happening. So he calling, and I wouldn't answer. So when I got to work that month, I never went home all weekend. Even Monday, I went from where I was at straight to work. So I never went home. Monday, when I got to work, it was like 1,000 voice messages on my work phone.
Wow.
Like, I'm gonna kill
as many as your phone could hold, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Yes. Okay.
So my best friend, at the time, I was letting her listen to the messages. Like, I needed to witness. Somebody need to hear this. So my best friend at the time, she was like, "Oh my goodness, girl!" Like, And the last message said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said all of that. Delete those messages. Just come home and talk to me. We need to fix this. Just come home so we can talk. So I'm letting my friend listen to the voicemails, and she like, girl, you do not go home.
Okay.
So like, I'm just like, oh, he just want to talk. Maybe we can fix it, work something out. I don't know what he want to talk about. Being naive, still having love for this man. It's 13 years we talking about.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go home. I'm just going to go home and listen to what he got to say. I promise you, I'm not going to stay. Because at this time, I was with my mom. I'm just going to go home and hear him out. I'm going to let him speak his.
And you felt safe enough to go home. You even after the 1,000 messages, you didn't feel any threat about what he's talking about. He just all talk. Okay. But in any of the messages, did he threaten to hurt you? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And before you tell us, looking back, do you feel like you let your intuition down, or were you really sincerely feeling like I can handle it? Like, did any part of you second guess, maybe I shouldn't, but you did anyway?
Yeah, I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
So the night that I went home, actually it was the night before all of that happened. I just went. He wasn't there. The night he asked me to come home, he wasn't there. I went home, and I don't know if I'm sure you did, because we were pretty much raised the same kind of way. But you ever heard about just taking things to your room? Just pray about whatever is going on. This particular
night,
night,
your closet.
And there was like a calm over the house. And I just went in my room and locked myself in, and I just dropped down to my knees, and I just started screaming and praying. And I said, Lord, listen, I have had enough. I said, if you don't, it's time for you to intervene, because if you don't intervene, somebody's going to get hurt. This man is going to be the reason why I pass away. You need to do something. At this point, something needs to be done.
Yes. So you gave it up. This is that moment.
I just gave it to him. Like, at this point, something needs to be done. This man is going to be the reason why I'm not here no more. And all these kids going to be here no more. Like, you got to do something. But I'm not just praying. Like, I'm crying. I'm screaming.
Yes. You're believing it.
I'm just releasing everything that I have, pleading for some help at this point.
Yes.
The next
day, God answers every time they tell you when you hit rock bottom, when you got no way but no way, God will answer you when you surrender. And so I would call that a moment of surrender.
Yep. And the next day, I went to work.
Okay.
That's when he called and was like, you need to come home so we can fix this. And me still loving this man unconditionally, I always wanted to give him an opportunity to redeem himself. I always wanted to give him an opportunity to fix his wrongdoings, because that's just the type of person that when I love hard. So I went home.
Okay.
And when I went home, we were talking, and he just really didn't seem like himself. And he never would like look me in my eyes. He was
was him not looking at you that day abnormal?
That's
all the other days he looks at you, but this day he's not facing you.
Right. So you got to understand that a lot of these things I'm realizing now, I wasn't paying attention to in the moment.
Right. I understand that.
I'm like, okay, that was weird. I should have paid attention to that. Okay, this was weird. I should have paid attention to that.
We'll do it. I think it would be excellent if when we finish this story, that maybe later in the week we could do a follow-up story to the signs that you did miss, the things that we can help women understand what they could have seen different. Because I feel the same way. So that's excellent. I'm glad you said that.
All right. So moving on. I'm home. He's home. And it's a lot of different stuff going on with the kids running around, just normal everyday stuff. And he was like, well, just eat with me. We went to go get some food, and we came back home. We sitting there, we talking, we're eating. And he gave all of the kids money and sent them out to the store. The way our house was set up, you can lock the front and the back door from the inside with a key. The doors had deadbolts on them. So if you walked outside and I didn't have a key, if you walked outside and I didn't have a key and you locked the door, if I didn't have the key to put the key in the lock in the inside, I couldn't get out.
Okay.
So he sent all the kids away, and they were all out playing store, whatever, and he locked all the doors. He didn't realize one of the kids was still in there.
Okay.
So he locked the doors. He came upstairs. I was still sitting upstairs. At this time, I'm packing stuff that I'm noticing that I left. Packing stuff in my bag, what I had been doing all week, because I'm taking this stuff when I leave too. And I'm not staying.
That's right.
I've made it clear that I'm not staying. I'm only staying to hear what you got to say, and then I'm leaving.
Right.
So I'm putting stuff in the bag. He taking stuff out the bag. I put stuff in the bag, turn around. He taking the stuff out the bag. We going through back and forth.
Like the tussle. I know that tussle.
So he had a book bag that he carried all the time. He grabbed the book bag. And usually when he grabbed the book bag, he take the book bag and put the book bag on the top shelf in the closet. So when he grabbed the book bag, it was not alarming to me. This is something that he grabbed the book bag. So it wasn't alarming. But this time, instead of him taking the book bag and putting the book bag in the closet, he took the book bag and walked around the back of the bed. The way the bedroom was set up, the bed was sitting in the middle of the floor. So you can walk 360 all the way around the bed.
Okay.
Walked around the back of the bed. So now he's standing behind me. He's standing behind me, and I'm still putting clothes in the bag. He's standing behind me. He walked up to me. He put the gun on my head, and he pulled the trigger. When he pulled the trigger, I did not realize that I was shot. I just heard all this noise. I felt like I was hit. I didn't realize I was shot.
Okay.
So when the impact hit me, I turned this way to look up at him. And when I looked up at him, the blood started running down my face. Is when I realized it was more serious than I thought. Okay. When the blood started running down, I still didn't know I was shot. When the blood started running down my face, I leaned over because I'm sitting on the side of the bed. So I leaned over, grabbed the blanket. I'm trying to wrap my head in the blanket. I never lose consciousness.
That's instinct. That's right.
Right. So I'm trying to wrap my head in the blanket. I don't know where he is in the room. At this point, I don't care. I just know that
that's all right. You're that sixth sense we talked about that's kicking in. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You just know that this is fight or flight now. You have to save yourself.
It's fight or flight.
That's right.
So I stand up and I try to make a break for the bedroom door. When I get to the bedroom door, there's no doorknob. There's nothing but a hole. So I had to stick my finger. Mind you, it's blood all in my eyes. And I'm still holding this blanket on my head. I had to stick my finger in the hole to pull the piece over so that I can get out the bedroom. Whole time, I don't know where this man is or what's getting ready to happen next. But I'm trying to get out of there. Right. I get down the steps. I get out the door. I go down the hallway. My daughter, I run right past her. Didn't even realize, because now I'm panicking. I run right past her. I run down the steps. I go to the front door to try to get out the door locked.
Key.
No key. No key. Baby girl had to go back up the steps because she run down the steps behind me. She had to go back up the steps, go in the room where he shot me at, and get the key. Not knowing what she gonna find when she get in the room or if he's gonna shoot her. She go in the room to get the key. He did. because he shot himself. So now she got to step over his body, get the cordless house phone, get the key, calling 911, coming down the steps with the key, open the door, unlock the door, and that's how we got out the house. When we got out the house, I sat down on the front step because now I'm out of it and I'm losing too much blood. I don't know what's going on at this point.
You still don't know you're shot?
I don't know I'm shot, but I know it's blood everywhere. I'm slipping and sliding in the blood, falling. It's just weak. I'm losing it. I don't know what's going on. But I said to her, where is he at? Where is he at? And get me away from this house. Where is he at? She said, you fine. You can sit here because he's dead. And we sat on the front stoop and waited for the ambulance and the police to come.
Wow. How do you feel today telling that story in this moment?
I feel amazing because I'm blessed and highly favored to be here to be able to tell the story.
Come on now. That's a good answer. That's an amazing answer. I want to talk to you again. I'm going to let this story marinate right now for the viewers, and for just know this, there's so many women out there right now that together we are literally saving their lives, because you took us through a relationship that was over 13 years long. You took us through a little bit of what was going on during the relationship. Talked about leaving, going back, the tussle, the thought, the trying to still, even though you're in a situation that's not becoming of you, but you're still trying to provide as a woman does for them. And then you take us all the way to the end where even your daughter has to, step over still to save your life, because this is where your intuition kicks in, not only yours, but hers. Not saying that he's not an important person, but mommy is, this is what it is. And mommy's first. Let me grab this key and get my mom, and we'll deal with that later. And so I want to commend her as well. And I know that there was some of your family on here. And if it's okay with you, since we are on live, there's no script here. If any of you guys want to just say something to your cousin, your friend, your mama, I know your daughter's here. I know one of your cousins is on here. If y'all want to say anything, you got to just raise your hand so I could bring you on, just to give your sister, friend, mama some encouraging words. I'm so proud of you. Like your story, number one, the fact that you got I am going to bring you back because we need to know. I want to talk about your recovery. I want to know what happened next. It's like chapter 2. It's like we did, like this is how the book's supposed to end. Like, we're going to close this book and let you come back, because we need to know, like, then what happened? Like, you got to the hospital. We want to know you realize that you were injured, you still have a home that you have to clear out. You still have a person that is dead in a home that you own, or that you guys own together. Like, this is a process. It didn't just end right here, right? And now I fast forward even down the road. You're all the way down in Florida, and you're continuing to do what you need to do. You look strong. I know that looks can be deceiving, but I'm looking in your eyes, and I know a strong woman when I see one. You look strong. You look free. And I'm happy, I'm grateful to see that. Like, I'm giving you like big old hugs. I'm taking you down the center, walking all the way from here to Clifton Avenue. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I love you. And I'm just so absolutely proud of you. And they're telling you that they love you, sister, cousin. Jennifer says she loves you.
Love you guys.
Yes. Your daughter, Andrea Young, she says she's loved you. They're so thankful and proud of you. They love you some more. Your daughter out here like, that's my mom. Go ahead, mom. You got this, mom. And so we're just excited I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that your life couldn't be taken in any time that you go in the closet. And what you said to me was, you went in that closet, you screamed. You didn't just pray, but you screamed. And God said he wants to be honored in a way where he want to hear it through the rafters. And you did that. And you didn't ask God how to save you. You told God what you need.
Absolutely.
And they ask you, ask and you shall receive, right? Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and you shall receive. And so, again, I got chills because when you said, and I didn't just pray, I screamed. I began to scream. I began to yell. I began to honor and tell God, like, help me, please. Like, that's that feeling. Like, I know that feeling when you be like, I just like, I can't no more. You know that feeling? Like,
Yes.
ah!
Yes.
You know, when you
That's
get
the
that
part that
feeling,
gets me. Like, cause
that's
when
that feeling.
people can relate to what I'm talking about,
I know
then
that
I
feeling.
know
That's
that
that feeling of surrender. I call it
yes.
surrender. That's those nights where you went home, where you in the house, and your kids be like, "Mommy, you okay?" And you like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And you lay down on the bed because you okay. But when you lay down and that tear start here and roll all the way down to there like that, you
Yeah.
don't even know. I think I'm okay, but every night I'm crying. I'm frustrated. Like I don't know what's the matter with me. I just know that I don't want to do this no more. And that is surrender. And when you surrender, it always happens. Some people don't believe in God. So I tell them, like, you don't got to say God. You might say Allah. You might say the universe. You might say whatever you say, but there got to be a higher power than us, as far as I know. Not to offend anybody, but I'm going to claim God every chance I get, right?
And
But
so
you
am
have
I.
to believe in something other, because there's always something more magical than you working. And I feel like you literally ignited your freedom, and you ignited. I rest in peace to anyone that had passed away, because you did say we won't man bash. He was a good man. Whatever happened to him, we don't know his story, so we don't know how his life fell apart. But you know, as being a part of his life, that at some point, this is not the man I married, and things went all the way to the left. I don't know what happened to him, because we weren't ever able to have that conversation. But something happened to him that he was not able to articulate to you as a wife. But instead of telling you, he started acting out towards you. And you do get to the point where you have to save yourself, right?
That's
Not
right.
only you, but you're talking about 10 kids, not 2, not 1. I'm talking about all 10 of them. Got to get saved.
Yep.
And like you said, God, if you don't do something, somebody in this house, somebody not going to make it, and I'm feeling like it's going to be me. And the truth is,
Right.
he did try to take your life. He did try to take your life, but the promise can't be taken. You can never go anywhere until your assignment is done. And so, sis, I know you said you want to write a book. I know you want to share your story with people. I know you want to get deeper and help them. And so until your assignment is done, not even a bullet, like you, like something like bulletproof, right? Not even a bullet can take your life. Now that's promise. And so if I can speak anything over you in this moment, it is, even the very gifted, the greatest people in the world can never be taken until your promise is fulfilled. And so we got work to do, right? We got stories to tell. We got people to help, people to heal, women to allow to hear your story. There's another woman out there that knows that scream, that cry. That's that come on now cry, right? There's another woman out there that has to hear that story, because how many lives could you have saved if only they just heard what happened? If only they heard that you lived to tell about it. Because it's not your abuse that's different. It's the fact that you live to tell the story that makes you gifted. And so I'm grateful for having you here. You like,
Thank you.
we like you like my homegirl and everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going anywhere, right? 2-5 all day, this 3-5, so you know what I'm saying? So, but I thank you for being here, and everybody is just happy. They're just shouting you out, and you can go back and read the comments, but they love you. They give you the prayer hands, like they love everything. And so I'm grateful to have you, and we're going to do this if you are comfortable, which I do believe that you are. I wanted to take it a little bit further so that we could help women understand, because I don't want to leave them empty-handed like that, but help them understand now that part, that the you know what happened. Now, how did I get through it? Because remember, here's what's deep about this, and we have to go. But what's deep about this is not mom got shot, but dad died. Right?
Yep.
Mom got shot, but dad died. So now, not only do you have to deal with yourself, but there had to be a service. There had to be other family, other people. I can only imagine the book that you have to write must be absolutely mind-blowing, because to tangle through all that and still be standing strong and working and getting to your life and living your life and raising your children and doing your best to keep them together. You're an incredible woman.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you for being here. And so we'll be back, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to disconnect you, Nicole, but I thank you. I'm going to call you. We're going to talk. We're going to get into it. You got a book to write, and we're going to see. We're going to see it in the shelf. We're going to claim it and write it down. But do you have any final words for anybody? Just any words of encouragement for any lady that's going through any kind of abuse at all?
Yes, I just, the one thing I can tell the younger ladies, all women actually, is just you got to know your worth. At some point, you can't, it's really, really impossible to love up on somebody else and you don't love yourself first. Because if you loved yourself first, you wouldn't tolerate any nonsense at all. Whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, somebody telling you you got all them kids and you can't, ain't nobody gonna want you, it's all lies. Please believe me when I tell you, it's all lies. Don't allow anybody to take your peace. Your mind, your body, your soul is your temple. It is your
Mm.
peace. It only belongs to you. It was awarded, loaned to you. And nobody else should have any control over that or any control over what you do with it, how you
Mm-hmm.
care for it, or who you choose to
Mm-hmm.
be with. Don't just
Mm-hmm.
be smart about what you choose and love yourself first.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You, Inga. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye, guys. Man, guys, let me tell you something. I don't even know where to begin. Like I'm just grateful to be able to have this platform. I'm grateful for all of y'all that got on here today. Having another person on here to engage with and talk to and share so that you can see that it's not just one or some people. So many people, so many women have been affected by domestic violence, and this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so we have been working to highlight these stories for you to hear stories, so you to be able to, if you are in a situation, that you realize that it's not just you, that you're not alone, that you might have a friend, a coworker, the girl that you're sitting next to in the Uber or at a restaurant, the waitress. It could be anybody. It could be same sex relationships. It could be, man against man, woman against woman, brothers and sisters. Guys, domestic violence is so absolutely real. And so for Nicole to be able to share her story that got so, it was a good, amazing story, but at the end, like, we got to bring her back, right? So we will bring her back to be able to share with us what happened next. So you left. This is powerful. Like I said, guys, she was injured in her home. Her daughter was still there. Have to walk over the other parent. That means that she literally had to have a service, console her children. What confusion must it be in the mind of a little person or the other family to know? People got to pick sizes, all kinds of crazy things that could go on. And so we have to make sure that not only when we're thinking about domestic violence, it's not just us. One of the questions I asked Nicole, when I asked why did she leave, she told me that she had to save her kids. And so sometimes when you can't save yourself, you do have to do it for someone else. And so if you're a person out there, I want you to make sure that you call the 800 number for domestic violence. If you experience domestic violence, if you can't get to the 800 number for support, call 911. I want you to learn to be strong enough to save yourself. And I want you to keep watching this channel. Keep watching the Inga Nicole Show every Sunday. Through the week, we'll also have different posts just to keep you engaged. And it's not always about domestic violence. Our mission is to teach women to go from toxic to abundance in 90 days or less by waking the F up. And the F is your faith, your family, your finances, your frustrations, your freedoms, your fears, your fabulousness. Like, every F word that you can think of is what we're waking up. 90 days or less. Get with the program, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please share this with everybody that you know. It makes us better, it makes us stronger, and it helps so many other women. And so we appreciate you for coming. Thank you for watching the Inga Nicole Show, and we will see you very soon, guys. Follow Nicole. You'll see her. Her link is in here in this video. So do follow her. Do send her messages. Give her words of encouragement. Tell her, you go, girl, and all the other stuff that you want to say to her. But we do appreciate you for being here and watching our show. And so, and thank